Welcome back to the Primal Reset podcast. My name is Eliot, and today we're talking to Linda Berlani, who will be sharing her expert knowledge about natural hormone balancing, holistic weight loss, and the power of personalized wellness. So grab your coffee. Hi, Linda. It's nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, Eliot. I appreciate it.
Of course. We're happy to have you. And kind of starting with an introduction, can you share your journey with us, what your current role is, and what company that you work for?
Sure, be happy to. So I'm Linda Berlani. I owned BeBalanced Natural Hormone Weight Loss Center in Wyomissing, PA. So I was living in Vermont. My now husband was living in Pennsylvania, and I was moving. I needed a business. So I started looking around for something to do. And the broker I was working with, I wasn't looking at anything like this, but the broker I was working with said, "Hey, I have this company that sounds like it would work for you." I've always been a natural kind of person. I was the kind of mom that put olive oil in my kid's ear as opposed to taking them to a doctor. So anyways, I came across BeBalanced. I, at that point, was 50, had hot flashes, night sweats. I couldn't sleep. And I was a self-proclaimed sausage. I felt like a stuffed sausage, right? You wouldn't look at me and go, "Oh my gosh, she's so overweight." But I didn't feel good about myself. So instead of buying the business, I did the program.
Okay.
Once I did the program, I lost 16 pounds. I felt great. I could sleep through the night. My hot flashes and night sweats were gone. So I was a typical success story. And I bought the business. So I opened in Wyomissing 6 years ago. Love what I do. Loved it so much that after being here for a year and a half, I opened another one in Westchester, Pennsylvania, of which I just sold last year. I'm at the age of retirement. Although I don't want to fully retire, I'd like to work less. So having two was definitely full time. Having one can allow me some time off. So here I am in my semi-retirement in my Wyomissing center.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome that you kind of went through the program before kind of buying in and literally buying in. I can definitely see your success story being a pain point for a lot of people, especially in the United States. Kind of
Yeah.
without going too far into it, our obesity rate is through the roof.
Oh, for sure.
Compared to every other country, we're not healthy. And like me personally, I'm not a huge believer in everyone needs to be, fit or skinny or anything by that matter. But
Right.
for me, it's more about health. Like if you like to eat. Just try and eat a bit healthier so
Right.
you're not having hot flashes. You're not having saying that is easy, but having that guidance and having the knowledge to actually do it is an entirely different thing.
Well,
There's a lot of people that look for help and they don't know where help is.
Well, unfortunately, we Americans are not taught about food. We don't know what food does to us. And America has made eating easy, right? You can go to the store and buy anything prepackaged, anything almost, which is not good because if it's prepackaged, it pretty much has chemicals in it that are disrupting our hormones. So especially for women, because we have a more difficult time right out of the gate with our hormones, it really is just exacerbating all of our issues. So we work really hard on food education in part of our program. For instance, I didn't realize that fruit was a rapid weight gainer for me. Now, not all fruits, but if it has a higher glycemic index, which probably wouldn't have come out of my mouth back then. If it has a higher glycemic index, such as grapes, I will be up a pound or two the next day, and I don't have to eat a lot. If it's lower, such as berries, then I can eat them. But I didn't know that. I would never have thought that. I thought, I'm eating a grape. It's healthy. It's good for me. And it's not that it's not healthy or good for me. It's just that it is a rapid weight gainer. So that's one of the best parts, I think, one of the best parts of our program is that we do teach you about food. And it's really changing. It changes your world when you look at food in a different way.
Absolutely. And I mean the personalization that you guys do is something that, like you just said, for you, your body doesn't process certain types of fruits better than other ones. So
Right.
the education that's out there, that's starting to get out there, the change in the administration federally, as well as kind of the social media aspect of everyone starting to look for healthier alternatives and how to get healthy with what to eat and etc. It's a lot of generic information. Yes, it's a good start and I love the direction that we're going, but it's such a generic, like generalized education that everyone should start a carnivore diet. And it's
Mm,
like, okay, but not everyone can process carnivore nearly as well
correct.
as if they can process fruits, or their glycemic value or index goes up with certain fruits, for example. So I love the aspect that you guys have on the personalization, and tell me a little bit more about it. What's You've been through the whole course. You decided to become an owner. What does the course look like? What do you guys really do for the clients?
Well, sure. I want to go back to something you said before first, if you don't mind. And you said something about it's not all about being skinny. And we agree with that. So if you come into me and you want to lose, I'm just going to throw numbers out there. They mean nothing. Okay. But if you're 250 pounds and you want to lose 20 pounds and you're happy and feel healthy there, good for you. If you're 250 pounds and want to lose 75 and that's where you're happy and healthy, good for you. We don't use the typical BMI chart because that weight looks different on different people. So, what we really want is for you to feel good about yourself and feel good. So, that's an important part of it. Okay, so having said that, if you came in, and we do not just do women, we do men as well. A typical female will go through a 14-week program. The first, it's broken up in 5 phases. The first phase is only 2 days long. It's the loading phase. What I mean by that is during the first 2 days, we'll have you eat good, healthy fats. There's no carbs, sugars, grains, or alcohol. What we're doing is getting your body used to burning fat for fuel. Second phase is the weight loss phase. So this is 31 days. We give you specific foods to eat. It's limited, but it's all whole foods. You're going to get them in your grocery store. You can cook them yourself. It's nothing packaged. While we're doing this, we're going to supplement you with some vitamins and nutrients so that we know you're getting what you need. Okay? A typical woman will lose somewhere between 12 and 22 pounds during this 31 days. Now, we do it for 31 days because let's face it, you can't just keep doing it for 60, 80, 90 days. It's not sustainable. However, if you want to lose more weight, we give you a break and then you can redo that same phase all over again. Or come back at another time and redo it. It's totally up to you. This is an individual journey, so we help you make it individual. The third phase is called maintenance. What we want to do in maintenance is lock in your weight. This is important because if we don't lock it in, you will yo-yo. You've heard people say, yes, I lost 15 pounds, but right after that, I gained it right back. It's because you didn't lock in your weight. And that's only 21 days. The fourth phase is lifestyle. So in lifestyle, what we do is we bring back all the foods that you haven't been eating. We introduce those foods one food at a time. This is important because by listening to our bodies, and we teach you how to do that, you can actually determine which foods maybe give you some sensitivities. By sensitivities, it can be something as simple as gas, bloating, acid reflux, up to anaphylactic, God forbid, right? We will see what each food does to you. You can weigh yourself the next day and see if that certain food automatically puts weight on you. If it did, we call it a rapid weight gainer, then we can teach you how to enjoy those rapid weight gainers and what to do for a couple days after that so that you excuse me, so that you don't gain your weight back. So there's no exact timeline for lifestyle. It just depends on how many different foods you eat. And then the fifth and final phase is called balance bites. Excuse me for 1 minute. I have a tickle in my throat. I'm sorry.
You're good. No worries.
The final phase is called Balance Bites. So this is 4 weeks of interactive online classes. They just help you learn more about reading the label, how to switch out one food for the other, what exercises are better for you. It's just really informative. So that's basically the program. You have questions?
Yeah, I mean, I love the education portion at the end of it, because I think something the most important is there's so many places that offer that weight loss. And I
Mm,
mean, we can look at some huge brands that are already in supermarkets for years, and that's all great, but no one really knows what is in there and why it's in there
sure.
and why it's good for them. And those questions is something that if someone's really looking to have a healthier lifestyle in whatever way that might look like for them, the education portion is the biggest thing. Stay away from these sorts of ingredients for yourself. Stay away from this. This is good. And from what my understanding is, you guys also are very can't think of the word right now, cost effective,
Yeah,
where
it doesn't end up to be much per day when you break it down, and it's
exactly.
well worth it. It's lifelong.
Exactly. And that's for me, it's we're not selling people on the upfront cost of things. It might sound super expensive and all these programs and all these different things. You don't know what you're getting exactly. But if we break it down, what are we really looking for? We're looking for our health
Mm,
and a lifetime of health. So if we really break it down, and I know for all the bodybuilders or people who use protein wise, they break it down where every serving is only so much per day.
right, right,
So, and I love that aspect of like, we're here to help, but we're not here to help for a short term where like you want to lose weight quickly, let's lose weight. It's we're here to, we can help you lose weight and then we can help you stay at that weight. And this is how we can help you. So
right.
I love the education portion of that. That's something that I've dove into myself, you know, in my background as well with hockey and eating right and having the right physical training and therapy and all of that stuff as well. So it all kind of goes hand in hand.
Oh, absolutely.
To your point of the BMI index, that's something I actually kind of wanted to touch on real quick. I think is really interesting because as a former athlete myself and all the other athletes and whatever you may do in your normal life, the BMI index is off.
For sure, for
Like
sure.
I'm 6'3", I'm 200 pounds, and I'm ranking on the overweight scale. And
Right, and you don't have an ounce of fat on you.
for me, like
Yeah,
I don't think I'm fat.
right,
So, you know, and I was 225 pounds when I was playing hockey. So for me, like that wasn't fat. You know, I
right,
had a lot of muscle, but I was overweight on the BMI index. And it doesn't take into consideration all of the corporate workers or the laborers as well, like the blue collar jobs. I mean, if you're sitting in an office chair every day and you're not burning calories, you might be considered fat on the BMI index. But if you're a blue collar worker and you're working every single day, you might be considered skinny when you're
right.
not.
Well, think about that. If I am, when I was 35, I was 106 pounds. Okay. I was also nothing but lean muscle mass. If you, at my age at 68 right now, if you made me 106 pounds, someone's probably going to ask me to go to the hospital because I'm not going to look good, right? It's hard for a woman to retain muscle mass as you age. And although muscle and fat weigh the same, okay, I know people say muscle weighs less than fat, but they all weigh the same. A pound is a pound is a pound. But a pound of muscle looks like this. A pound of fat looks, I got that backwards. I'm sorry. A pound of fat looks like this. A pound of muscle looks like this. So if you're putting 120 pounds of muscle on a body or 120 pounds of fat or some muscle and fat, it looks completely different. So the as you say, the BMI chart doesn't work. Plus, it doesn't take age into consideration. We're just not going to be as muscular as we age. We can have muscle and should, but it's not going to look the same as it did when we were younger.
I agree. I agree. And to your point of, you know, the journey that you went through and as a woman as well, it's definitely our bodies are entirely different
Sure.
gender wise. And, you know, this might be controversial with everything going on, but for males and females, you know, we were born in a certain way where our bodies react to nutrition and physical training and everything
Right.
else in a certain way. And I love the hormone balance that you guys are doing
Mhm.
because that's something that we've even seen like teenagers have the stress levels of, I think it was a 70-year-old or something, or have higher stress levels than a 70-year-old. And we also have for men, I know the testosterone levels are so low for
Yes.
teenagers all the way up to 30, you
And
know,
a
and
lot of that is the chemicals in our food,
yeah,
right? A
yeah,
lot of it is chemicals in our food, chemicals in the air, chemicals that we put on topically. There's hormone disruptors in most of it.
exactly. And I love that you guys kind of focus on that education standpoint for that as well.
We do. We have a whole set of tools for that, for sure.
Yeah, and the nutrition aspect is definitely the best start in my opinion because I mean, how many times do people eat a day? You know, we could start with the forefront could be physical training or it could be the sunscreen that we put on when we go outside. But for me, it's mainly the food because we're eating minimum 3 meals a day and then we snack and then we have some water, we have some soda, or we have some tea or whatever else it may be as well. So for me, it's if we can get the nutrition standpoint correct and we can have the right education and have the right people like yourself to guide us through that, then we can kind of focus on everything else as well.
You're 100% correct. I mean, if we don't fuel our body with something healthy, we're no different than a sports car, right? A sports car needs the best fuel out there. And if you put regular fuel or packaged food, per se, into a Maserati, it's not going to run as well. It's just not. And if we put junk into our body, we can't expect to be high performers. We can't expect to think straight, sleep well, or function. And
Yeah.
back to your point about not education, exercise, and the stagnant worker as opposed to the guy who's out there climbing buildings and trees. Everybody doesn't want to exercise. Should we? Absolutely we should, but everybody doesn't want to. So we have to start with something that everybody does. We all eat. And if we can get that down right, it's going to make a difference in all of us.
I agree. I agree. And to that point, I mean, the industry is growing substantially, especially in the nutritional side of things. What do you see as the future of health and wellness brands?
Well, I think people like BeBalanced are going to come to the forefront. And I say that optimistically, but I also say it meaning we're holistic. We do everything as natural as possible. You can go to the doctor and you can get on metformin or some other drug or a GLP-1. They're all controversial. They all have side effects. I'm not going to give you anything that's going to give you side effects, with the exception of if you eat a food that isn't good for you, then we're going to find out. But I'm not going to give you any chemicals, and that makes a big difference. So I believe, especially with, as you alluded to earlier, RFK coming on board and starting to watch out for all of us, I really think that anything that is natural and helpful is going to go to the forefront. I think that we'll start to be more educated about it. Natural things have been stifled for quite a while because Big Pharma owns us all. And if he can make them back off a little bit, I think we'll all be able to learn a little more. I think it'll be more attainable, that knowledge.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's definitely a road that I'm looking forward going down.
Yes.
And, we've seen a lot of trends with Ozempic evenly, losing weight quickly, kind of
Mm-hmm.
drug wise, and seeing all the side effects that's happening from Ozempic. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, look, it's a peptide. Peptides are great and they have their place. The biggest problem I see is two things. Obviously, the side effects, right? I mean, chemicals aren't good for everybody. Some people they work well with. The bigger problem is they're handing you a drug and saying, here, inject this once a week and go ahead and eat whatever you want and you're going to lose weight. Then you go off the drug and you're still eating whatever you want. What's going to happen? You're going to gain that weight back. You've gained zero knowledge of how to eat and what food does to you. I think we're setting people up for failure. I think we're setting people up for rebound weight, which makes you hold on to more weight. So I don't think we're doing anyone any favors. Now, if someone can incorporate a way to use the GLP-1s with really healthy eating, maybe that's a good answer. I don't know. I am all about natural, and the more natural, I think the healthier it is.
I agree. Yeah, for me, my mom has always been very big in natural supplements and natural foods and whole foods and things that kind of come from the earth so we can kind of feed ourselves.
Smart
And
mom.
exactly, I don't remind her too often,
Yeah, I'm sure you don't.
but yeah, and she's as a kid, I've never cared too much for that. I always wanted the Capri Suns and
Of
the
course.
the ice cream and the candies and whatever else.
Yeah, but think about what you were fed on TV. I mean, you were bombarded with that's what you should be eating everywhere,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
And
there's peer pressure as well.
we were. And I love that we're seeing now a lot of different trends of what foods can we eat that we love, but can we eat them naturally?
Hmm.
And Weight Watchers was kind of something that was the forefront of that, where they're like, you can still have ice cream from us, but it's healthier. It'll help you lose weight. But now we're seeing all these influencers and all these holistic and health, maybe not experts quite within the field, but someone who has really taken the dedication and the time to learn about whole foods and what can be good for us and what's not good for us. Kind of make a mix into that. Like, this is
Yeah.
how we can have ice cream with whole milk or natural milk
Sure.
that has lactate in it, and we can digest it better. And, for some people, that's still not the case, whether lactate's in it or not. We still don't digest it that
Right.
well. But, and they incorporate honey in it and wild
Right.
honey that, bees have been there for us for millions of years. Egyptians
Right.
had bees, and I love the trends that we're starting to see more and more for a place for people to kind of go to and really have that one-on-one conversation with you and BeBalanced centers is something that I truly love.
Thank you.
And I kind of wanted, that's why I'm happy to have you on the podcast. I wanted to share this with the world.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And yeah, tell me a little bit about what's next for your brand. I know that you're starting in the retirement age. What do we want
Well, so brand wise, that comes from our home office. We are a franchise. There's a few of us around the country, and we don't put forth new products ourselves as a franchise owner. It all comes from home office. So to answer that, I'm not 100% sure. I can tell you that we do more than weight loss. We do have something to help with leaky gut, something to help with candida. We have a couple other things. We have not hormone replacement, but we do have hormone creams to help with women. For instance, if you come in and you're fit and you don't need to lose any weight, or you're happy where you are, but your hormones are out of whack, we can help you. So it's not just diet, although I am a big proponent of the diet because it's such a great education. It just teaches you so much about your own body. So to answer what's coming, I don't know. We'll have to talk again and find out what has transpired between now and then.
We'll definitely have to do that. We'll have to do that. Well, tell me a little bit about how BeBalanced Centers is attracting people right now. I know with this podcast, I want to share more of your information. What are you guys doing right now to get clients?
So each individual franchise does their own advertising. All right. So, for instance, I have ads on cable streaming, I have billboards up. Our best clients are from our clients, meaning Sally came in and she had a great experience and she told Mary and Patty, and Mary and Patty came to me as clients. Those two women have seen the proof, right? They've seen their friend. They've seen how much better she feels and how great she looks. And she's saying how wonderful sleep is. And these ladies don't have any of that. So they come to us. Those are our best. I say our best clients. I should say our easiest clients, right? Because they've already bought into the program. So that's obviously, word of mouth is obviously the best. But we also do a lot of what we call boots on the ground, right? Go from business to business, make sure they have our information. Then a lot of ladies will be in the break room or something and see it and come to us via that. Okay. So there's, different ways.
Yeah, because nowadays we see so much advertising on everything. I can't watch a YouTube video without at least 5 or 6 ads, and it's a 20-minute video. I'm spending more time watching ads.
I know, it's maddening.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, referrals and organic leads is really something that you can't beat.
And Eliot, I'm happy if someone comes to me via the podcast, I'm happy to give them $100 off their program if they so choose. They just have to say that they came through your podcast. That's all.
Awesome.
And they would have to come to, and when I say come to, they don't have to physically be in our center. So our consultations and our work with clients is either in person, which is obviously the most fun because we get to see them one-on-one, but we also do Zoom and phone calls. Once COVID hit, we realized that brick and mortar has its place, but people are busy. People are really busy. So a lot of us who have busy lives like to be able to sit down in front of the computer. This wouldn't be possible because we're in different states if it wasn't for the computer. So we do this with people as well. That's awesome. If they come to BeBalanced while missing, we will give them that break.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I will. I'll definitely have your information down below.
I appreciate that.
And yeah, $100 off. That's awesome. That's a great start for people to be able to start their journey. and to just feel better is really what it is.
They'll be glad they did. I know I was.
Yeah, I mean, and you're the best success story, and starting your own business with them as well right afterwards. It's something that hopefully a lot of people can do, and then that way there's Be Balanced everywhere, not even just in the United States, but
Agreed.
maybe even globally as well.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. I told you that I had two centers and just sold one. The lady I sold it to was one of my clients. The minute I saw her, she said, I want to be the Be Balanced poster girl. I said, okay. And she actually did some ads for us. But then when it came time for me to sell, I just happened to mention, you know what? My husband wants a little more time with me. I'm going to try to sell this. And she's like, oh, me, please sell it to me. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's great.
That's the perfect client. I mean, with that being said, what do you think will work getting more clients to kind of focus on their health journey and bringing them to Be Balanced? Is it people that, is it mainly word of mouth? Is it the people that are coming in right now and seeing the opportunity of being a franchisee?
As soon as you
Or,
know the answer to that question, I would like you to tell me. I think word of mouth is always going to be the best. I think referrals are the best. I mean, if you are looking for a painter, you can Google and find 100 painters. But if your cousin says, oh, hey, Elliot, I use this guy and he was great, you're probably going to use that guy, right?
yeah, yeah,
So,
I mean, it's definitely the best way to get people
yeah,
because they've already seen and had the experience, and for their friends to trust their friend is all the connections already there.
right.
What
And that
I've
friend isn't going to tell you it was good because you're going to come back on them if it's not good, right?
Exactly. What I've seen a lot is, and I've heard a lot from a lot of leaders that have spoken to within the wellness industry, is education. And education in a form of social media nowadays to target the younger generation as well. But like I mentioned kind of at the beginning of this podcast, I've seen so many generalized information and so many misinformation, if I
Wow.
will, as well. There's so much out there and there's so much kind of construed for the younger generation where they're not able to find the exact place. And that's kind of why I decided to start this podcast, and I'm happy to have you on it as well. So
Thank you.
we can kind of be the forefront of that education of there is places to go, and whether you're in person, I mean, I know you mentioned Pennsylvania.
Right.
If you're not in the Pennsylvania area and you still want to start your health journey and to feel better,
It's okay.
there's virtual now. So for everyone out there that is listening to this that would like to start their health journey, go down below, look at Be Balanced Center, mention to Linda that you saw us on this podcast, and you can start your health journey with $100 off.
Absolutely. And just when someone comes to us, so that you understand, we're not high pressure sales. Number one, if you don't want to do this, I'm okay with that. It's not for everybody. And dieting is very emotional for women. It's very emotional. So if you're not in the mindset and you can't give up the Girl Scout cookies, it's not the best time to start, and that's okay. So if you come to me, what you're going to get is an education about what we do and how we do it. You'll see all the foods we use and everything, the list of foods. From there, our clients make an educated decision. Yes, this is great and I'm ready to go forward, or no, I'm not ready to do it. I'll come back another day. Or no, I don't ever want to do this. Whatever happens to be, I'm going to wish you well and be happy with whatever you say. I'm never going to try to talk you into this. It's not a good idea for the client to talk them into doing something they're not ready to do. So there's
Yeah,
no high pressure sales here.
it needs to be beneficial for both sides.
Absolutely.
Well, great. Well, great, Linda. I appreciate you having or coming on the podcast with us today.
It's been a
Um,
pleasure, Elliot.
hopefully,
I'm very grateful you invited me. Thank you for that.
of course.